Spend the day with me in my new FIFO job, not only as a woman, but a breastfeeding mom. So I start the day off in the office where, as you can tell, there's terrible sound, terrible lighting, altogether just horrible filming conditions. And then I head over into the plant where I was doing some of my inductions because it was my first week on site.
Is this what we call stockpile?
TLO, stockpile.
Yeah.
TLO, stockpile.
Yep.
So train load out.
I accidentally deleted all the live audio from this, but this here is my new fascination. This is what we call the stockpile and the train loadout, TLO, and I know the acronyms. And this is just the IMO that goes into the trains and gets shipped off. I've now finished all my site inductions and we're going back into the terrible lighting, terrible filming conditions where I'll work a little bit more before heading back to the camp. Now, on this particular day, I went straight to the mess, MESS, which is where we eat. Don't ask me where the term comes from. Actually, they say it's a military term, but yes, basically this is where we eat and have our dinner. Listen to the sound that comes from this place. After I eat, I head over to the crib to grab my lunch for the next day. I normally get like a chicken sandwich or something like that, and a yogurt and some fruit. But there's quite a wide selection of foods here that you can get. I am now taking my very long walk back in the dark to camp, and believe me here, I am a little bit scared because this place is quite hot, so naturally, and it's out there in the wilderness, so naturally you'd be worried about things like snakes and dingoes and whatnot. And I'm using my phone to film in really bad lighting, so I can't really use my flashlight. But there are quite a few lights in the pathway that have been provided to make things a little bit safer. And this gate here apparently is to prevent cows from getting into camp. Interesting, ain't it? Now I'm in my room, and there's the one thing that I do religiously whenever I close my door and lock it. I make sure that it is actually locked, and I put in that chain so that if somebody accidentally for some reason goes into my room, they won't be able to actually get in. And then I go ahead and I change out of my uniform and shower so that I can get into my pajamas. I was trying to do a transition here. I'm not sure if it's worked out very well, but have a look at this. Now, my skincare routine is very basic, but what I do is I make sure that I don't wash my face in the shower. I want to wash it in the basin with cold water. Sometimes I use a bar of soap like you can see here, facial soap, or I will use a face wash depending on what day it is or how I feel actually. Like I said, it's quite basic. Because it's pretty hot here and it gets hot even in the night, the water is actually not that cold, so it ends up being like lukewarm water, which I don't mind at all. I then go in with the Pond's micellar water just to make sure that it's nice and clean, with a cotton pad just over my face. Really basic stuff. And then I do a little bit of a check to make sure that there is no red sand because it gets sticky on it. And then I go over with a moisturizer Hydro Boost from Neutrogena just to moisturize my face before I go to bed. There are times where I use like an under eye cream, but I didn't in this video. After I finish that very basic skincare routine, I go to my cooler bag with the milk that I would have expressed at work. Comment if you'd like to see how I do that. I pop that in the freezer with all the other milk that's in there, and I will grab that and I will take it home as the supply for the next week when I am not home for the baby. I then go in, clean up my dirty stuff from the day, my dirty PPE, so that I can prep my PPE for the next day with clean stuff, obviously. Now, I also make sure that I stay hydrated because, like I said, it gets really hot here, and also because I am still breastfeeding, so I express every day, so I need to make sure that I keep my fluids up. This is just my sandwich that I grabbed from the crib for lunch tomorrow, and I'm just gonna pop it in the fridge because, again, it's hot. I don't want it to go bad. I'm gonna start getting out my clean PPE so that I can be ready tomorrow in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so I like to prep the night before in case I oversleep. And waking up this early, like I said, this is a new job. Waking up this early is not really, something that I am used to. So I want to be prepared just in case I have to shower really quickly and get out of there. So I'll prepare my clean PPE for the next day, and I'll make sure that my room is clean as well. Once all that's done, I grab my breast pump to express, and that is the Tommy TP double breast pump. Go over to my Instagram. I think I've got a video where I've linked this one, or I can check it in the comments. This is the double electric breast pump. I use one at a time just to make sure that I've got one that's clean and waiting for the next session, so that I don't have to keep washing the same, or rather that I don't keep having to wash both of them every single session. Now, this little white thing over here is very nifty. This is a connector that basically screws on to another very useful lifesaver, which is the freezer pouches, so you don't have to pump into a bottle and then put it into the freezer pouch, you know. It's pretty good. They are all from Tommy TP. After expressing, I do FaceTime with my babies. He's so funny. And hubby, who's on another site as well, doing the same roster as me. And then I get into bed and rinse and repeat.